Today I'm going to talk about why student loan debt is good for you. Coming up. Hello everyone, this is Ernesto from Attaboy Cowboy, and today I'm in Atascadero, California. I'm with my sister. We're traveling up to a conference today, and I just wanted to share some thoughts with you on student loan debt. Because I've been getting a lot of text messages from my cousins about student loans, and I just wanted to give some ideas that I have about how to manage it and why it's such a good idea to have it. Okay, the first reason is social mobility. Now, if you come from a family that has means or that is wealthy, there's a probability that you're likely to continue to be successful and be wealthy in your life. One example I think of recently is the varsity blues scandal in the United States, where rich parents were paying for their kids to go to good schools. One of the schools was my alma mater, USC. Lori Loughlin, a famous actress, paid, I believe it was $500,000 for her two daughters to go to school there. And after they got caught, the mom's going to go to jail, there's a trial going on, all these things. I remember they asked the daughter, and she simply said that she didn't want to go to school anyway, and that she was going to drop out. Apparently the daughter's a wealthy and successful Instagrammer, and she's making a lot of money and making a life for herself anyway, so she doesn't need it. So that was a good example, because basically she has a name, she has the family, she has resources to do things, which is a blessing. But myself and a lot of other people, our parents may not have had the same resources, so it allows for people to have social mobility. In my case, my dad earned enough money in 2 years to pay 1 year of my college education, because USC costs about $50,000 a year. And because I went to school a total of 15 years, sometimes going to 2 graduate schools at the same time, I racked up enormous amounts of debts. Even though I went to different schools, it wasn't always $50,000 a year. But thanks to the system that we have, financial aid, grants, scholarships, and even student loans, I was able to go to school and make myself into something more than I was. This basically gave me an opportunity that I may not have had. This is an opportunity that some people in other countries don't have. They can't get student loans. So student loans are a blessing. We're very fortunate to have student loans in this country. Okay, the second reason is benefits to society. Thanks to the education I received, I've paid that money back, dozens of times over back in taxes. So that's been a benefit to our country and to our society, the taxes. Also, I've been able to help thousands of patients recover and improve their health. So I've indirectly helped them increase their productivity. So they're able to go to work, they're able to have fun, go out with their families, pay more taxes, basically help build up society as well. In economics, 2 of the fundamental reasons or pillars of development for a country are education and healthcare. If you think about it, you need educated people to build up a country, to do all the technology, build buildings, and do all the things that we need in modern society. Number 2 is health. People need to be healthier, they can't work. Let's say you have a scientist, but he gets sick and he can't work, then he's not doing any research or making discoveries. So those are the fundamental things that a country needs: education and healthcare. That's why governments, if your country wants to be successful, those should be the #1 investment they should invest in. And for individuals, someone like you or I, those are the things that we need to invest in: our education and in our healthcare. In fact, right now in the US, there's more women graduating than men for the first time. And that's a blessing, because actually educating a woman, investing in a woman's education, gives a 3-fold return on investment to society than a man. A woman, when you educate a woman, tends to share her knowledge. If she has offspring, she'll share it with her children. She'll share it with her husband. She'll share it with her neighbors. Men have a tendency to not share it as much, because they don't have as close of a bond typically to their children, and they don't tend to share it as much with their neighbors, with their spouses, etc. So for countries that don't allow women to read or to get educated and stuff, that creates a lot of problems in terms of the fundamentals of economics. That's why some countries that are not well off continue to not be well off, because they don't allow their women to become educated. That causes a lot of drag on their economy. You basically have half of the population dependent on the other half. So you're kind of having to drag them along to get somewhere. So it's not good for countries to not educate their women. Okay, now reason number 3, again, it's a solid investment, and it's an investment in human capital. So I'm at a nice hotel right now, and I'm sure that costs millions of dollars to build. And they have this awesome pool behind me, you can see. And they have to pay to maintain it. It's actually heated 24 hours a day, which is pretty awesome. They keep it in the 80s. So it was really cold outside. I was able to go swimming in it with my sister, and we really enjoyed it. Why would they spend all that money on that? Well, that's actually the reason why I booked the hotel, because I saw that they had a heated pool, and that myself and my sister are really going to enjoy that. So the hotel is willing to make that upfront capital expense to make their business better, give it more amenities, and allow for more customers to come in. So they were to charge more. So when you think of yourself, you investing in yourself, again, it doesn't just have to be an education. It can be a trade. You can be a construction worker. You can be a welder. You can be whatever it is you do. Trades are just as valuable, because we also have a shortage worldwide of tradesmen. You know, architects, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, all these kinds of trade work. Architects are not trades, but these types of jobs are also in demand. If you invest in yourself, you're going to make yourself more valuable. They call it investing in human capital. So it's the equivalent, if I go to school and get a degree or a certification for myself, it's the same as the hotel buying this pool behind me to make their hospital more valuable. You make yourself more valuable. That makes you a lot more marketable and allows you to get better jobs, right? So you're able to make more. So investment in human capital is very important. In fact, some of the studies show that people that invest in education make at minimum twice as much as someone that doesn't have a college education. So you make at least double. A recent study I was reading said that millennials, when polled about being a millionaire, they said that at least 50% of them believe they will become a millionaire in their lifetime. Well, the reality is that less than 3% will become millionaires. It's not that easy to become a millionaire. You have to work really hard, and there's a lot of principles you can do. Anyone can do it. You just have to apply the right principles. And I'll go into those in more of my videos going forward. But just keep that in mind, that they think that 50% of them will become millionaires and only 3% will actually do it. So how would you actually do that? Well, one of the ways to actually do that is increasing your human capital again, and educating yourself and increasing your earning potential. The fourth thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you're investing in the right fields of study. We're in a very interesting time, because 2019, and what they're saying is that in history, we'll remember 2017 as the year of the robot. It's the year that robots were able to do 90% of the jobs that humans do. So that means that in the very near future, we're going to be being replaced more and more, because robots don't need to get paid overtime. They don't need vacations. They don't complain. They don't slip and fall. They don't need lunch breaks. They don't need any of that stuff. They don't need bereavement or anything. So it's a lot more cost effective to have robots. So you kind of have to keep that in perspective. You have to anticipate what's coming, and it's already here. If you go to the bank, I used to go to the bank, I used to see like 5 or 6 tellers. Now I see one, and I see like a bunch of machines there. They're robots, basically, where I do everything myself. When I go shopping at the market or at Home Depot, now they have self-checkout. Those are robots. They'll have one person standing there, and they'll have like 6 to 8 self-checkout counters where you go and basically ring everything up yourself. If you think about it, that one person is doing the work along with the robots that 8 people used to do. So that cut down that job by 8 people. There's a lot of positive sides to it, but there's also the downside. If you don't have an education, you're going to be at higher risk of being replaced by the robots. So you have to keep that in mind when you're planning out your education. I know my cousin's been asking me, well, what do I study? What do I study? I'm not sure. Well, you know, what should you study? STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are the top fields you should be studying. Those are the ones that have the highest return on investment. You're going to get the most money out of it. So if you study history or art or English, those are great, and we need people to study those things. But the demand for those types of fields is very low compared to someone that studies computers or biology or mathematics or physics. There's going to be a lot more demand, and you're going to push the price. You're going to get a lot more money because there's such a shortage of those people that it pushes the price up. Remember the saying, demand and supply? So wherever there's a short supply, you're going to get a lot more pay when there's because there's a lot of demand for it. If there's a high supply, you're going to get low pay. People are going to pay you low for those jobs. So if you want to make sure you get the most out of your student loans, make sure you're investing that student loan money in things that are going to give you a higher return on investment. And those are science, technology, engineering, and math. So again, if you're wondering whether or not it's a good idea to take student debt out, don't think twice, take it out. It's okay to have student loan. If you're getting into student loan debt and you're gonna study things that have a low return on investment, you're still gonna make the money back over your lifetime. So I would still recommend getting that money. And it's an experience like no other. It changes you fundamentally for the rest of your life. It generally just increases your potential to be more productive in life. So thank you again for listening. If you have any questions, please leave questions in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. So today from Atascadero, California, this is Ernesto from Attaboy Cowboy. Bye-bye.